You're fine, Jay.
Safe.
Jefferson. Anybody else? Are we live or? Yeah, I guess we're live.
Yeah, he's live again.
Quit talking then.
Speed, did you not send Peter the? Did you exclude?
Yeah, left Peter out.
It's a special link that does not allow anyone from the Netherlands in.
Yeah, that's what. Oh.
It does, but the one from the Netherlands has a ton of screens open and everything slow. Really slow.
Anti-Dutch URLs.
Yeah, well, we should explain what happened there. Germania sabotage. He hacked my stream and he fucking screwed up my stream and just to sabotage me because I got 500 subs.
Yeah, normally if you have GRUA in your side chat, things are just going to go wrong like that.
He will hack your stream, and that's what happened. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That is a praise excuse if I ever heard one. Well done, Speed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is a praise I am excuse right there.
If you were up to 505 subscribers, you did lose 2 due to that moment.
Yeah, win a few, lose a few.
Yeah.
Okay. I was listening to this awful material and it miraculously stopped. Oh, fuck you, Dazzle.
Do you need the link? Do you need the link again for that YouTube video for Pine Creek?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Dessel Drace, what in the fuck is wrong with him? He spends all this time, in the middle of the night, right? I get 2 notifications, and I actually fall asleep listening to him read papers. And then I go look in the morning because I want to, go down and download the paper, right? Nothing on his channel, 0 videos, gone, everything. He's done about 50 papers, spent all of this time doing these papers. He gets 3 views, 2 of which are probably me. And then he takes them down. What is wrong with you, Dessel? You're not going to get famous on YouTube reading papers. I swear. You don't have to worry about celebrity.
Well, you got to do it in maybe if you. Does he just read them flatly? Does he not? Does he add music to them?
No, he just reads them and doesn't comment even. Maybe comments a little bit. 130 so far he's done. Okay, and they're all private. Nobody else can see them. I've asked him for links over and over again. He keeps promising. Promise.
He's shy.
Is he really? Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to his channel. It doesn't sound like I'm missing anything if all he's doing is reading. Sorry, Dressel.
If you did go to his channel, you'd have to go between the hours of 1 and 5 a.m. Central Time and catch his video while it's still up. Otherwise, there is no channel. So
I think Dessel thinks that his videos are like a commodity with value that he's just giving away. So I think he's probably going to come up with a vending machine that you put money in, and it dispenses his.
Well, does he actually suspend his? Does he suspend his channel and then reactivate his channel?
No. He just takes
privatizes the videos.
That's what the fuck he's doing. He's going to start a Patreon account, and if you want to read the videos, you got to pay him.
Yeah,
that's fair. That would explain it.
Except that is that because the things that he's reading are behind a paywall?
No, not right now. I don't think.
No, but I mean, is he reading stuff? Is he reading stuff to people that is behind a paywall?
Oh no.
Yeah, but that's fair. That would be fair use, I think. I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think that. Okay, 1 hour and 40 minutes. You said.
Yeah, hour 40-minute mark, roughly. Yeah. You'll see him. He comes in as just the letter J on the right hand side. So this one ends pretty quickly. You can probably skip. No, you want to go a little bit more forward,
or a lot more forward.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I should have been around the.
What is this?
Maybe it's the 145 mark.
Okay.
Anyone else notice that he goes on there as J?
Yeah. Not F.
No, as J.
Yeah, it should be F, right?
It should be R for rebuke and reprove.
Well, no, what it would make it complete would be that he would know what was going to happen, so he would go in there as Jay Panic.
Okay, you want to
Man,
listen?
you people are slow today.
No, I get it.
Really
I don't find it. It's just.
No one got
Peter,
it.
Peter,
I think it's I think what Peter is saying is this is a secret message from Jill to me saying, "Hey, hi, let's talk about slavery again. Look at how bad Pine Creek did, you fucking retard." When it's she's the retard.
To be fair, Jay should be happy with you. After all, you're Christian. I did go back and look for that particular stream, and yeah, apparently you're Christian.
Who, me?
I did. Yes.
Oh.
No. Yeah.
The Cindy Winston one?
Hey.
Oh, the Cindy Winston one?
Yeah.
Oh, I never did watch
really
that.
You really pissed him off.
Really?
Yes.
Good.
He was really angry with you.
He probably still is. He'll get over it. He's a big boy.
Hey, so go check out the thumbnail for part 2. I thought it was appropriate. Anyway, should I play this?
Play that. Huh? Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, he called himself a Christian, but he was a flag waving phony, right?
Yeah. That wasn't a Christian. You're talking to a Christian now.
Really? You're not pretending?
Right.
Okay.
Born again, sanctified, filled with the.
Can I test? Because sometimes I get trolls on here. I want to make sure I'm talking to a real Christian. Can I just ask you a few questions? Like rapid fire. Do you believe that Jesus Christ rose from the dead?
Yes.
On the third day. Do you believe Jesus Christ is Lord and is God in flesh?
Yes.
Do you believe that the Bible is God's revelation to mankind?
It is. Yes.
Do you believe the best translation of the Bible is the King James?
No,
it's a nice trick question.
Yeah.
There are different types of translations.
Do you believe that there was that God created the universe and then Adam and Eve out of the dust and Eve from the rib of Adam?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're a true Christian. Welcome.
Are you a closeted homosexual?
To challenge you to prove biblical slavery. By biblical, I mean slavery being condoned or not condoned. That's a bad word. Sanctioned by the God of the Bible.
Oh, I guess I would need to know what you mean by slavery then.
Slavery, the legal definition of slavery.
What's the legal definition of slavery? What's that?
Owning another person against their will.
Against their will. And so now your question to me is prove that the Bible says that it's okay to own someone against their will.
This is really interesting. I don't know how many times he's changed his definition of what slavery is. He used to just say slavery was involuntary servitude. Now he's saying that it's the involuntary ownership of someone else.
No. That's the difference. He thinks that the first one you mentioned is in the Bible. This one isn't. And that would make him no longer a Christian if it was.
Okay.
Sadly for him, it's in the Bible.
Yeah, owning someone against their will. Yeah.
Yeah. That's in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you sell your daughter into slavery. Yeah.
Yep.
Or when babies are born into slavery. Or when children are taken by creditors in repayment of a debt. Yeah.
Or if you kill an entire tree and save the virgin girls for yourself.
Oh, they come up. No. That comes up later.
How about owning kitties?
That was the one that I talked about. Almost
owning
31.
Kitties?
Yeah. Kitty? You mean cats? No one cares about cats.
No. Kitties with D's. With kitties with double D's. Wait, that seems wrong.
Oh my God, Peter. Okay, this is a family-friendly show. That
sounded wrong the moment it came out.
Yeah, I'm going to clip that. Okay. That's going to be its own special video.
No.
What's wrong with the Netherlands? I can see the title. I got the thumbnail figured out too.
Yeah, and then put in parentheses the best hasty generalization ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll it.
Rolling.
Yeah, other than in the cases where we would condone or sanction today. POWs, criminals, for example, wards of the state, other than those situations.
Oh, okay. So you're conceding that God says it's okay to own POWs and spoils of war?
Yes, just like today when we are harboring, or when not harboring terrorists, that's what your president does. But when we go to war, we capture the enemy, they are held against their will.
Okay. And so I take it the passage that says you may buy slaves from the nations around you, you would say that that's not proving that it's against their will?
Correct.
Okay, then that can't.
This is correct.
You cannot.
No.
Okay. What? So biblical slavery doesn't exist.
No.
Pause, please.
Those are
Forescan.
Things, right? Because
like how Jill did that because Pine Creek can't demonstrate it, therefore it didn't exist.
Yeah. Jill has gotten very interested in arguments from silence.
Yes.
Yeah. And if everyone should encounter him, ask him to demonstrate that the Bible is true. He can demonstrate it.
He says he can?
Yeah. He failed for 6 hours and then came back another day for another 2 hours, failed again. And so we should remind him of that.
Did he just equivocate all over himself? That's normally what he does.
No, he just didn't make it. No, here's what happened. He said he could demonstrate it. And then he was asked by the channel owner, Brojo, how can you demonstrate it? Can you demonstrate that miracles are real? And he said, what miracle would you want to have demonstrated? Brojo said, well, just one hospital, children's hospital, emptied, all cured. That would do it for me. And then Jill said, well, what if God doesn't want that to happen?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, God would want kids to suffer and die.
But no, actually,
He's a loving God.
But what I would ask Jill is which part? The fact that God is sparing the lives of those kids, or the fact that by sparing them, it would convert Brojo to Christianity? Which one does God not want? Because Jill believes that God wants everybody to be saved. Maybe.
Yeah.
Unless he's changed his tune.
Maybe not me.
Yeah, probably not you. I think that's about to see. He's got a list of people he's looking forward to watching down in the fire.
Roll.
Yep.
Because the standard that you set, I cannot prove to you, is different than saying biblical slavery doesn't exist, correct? Because you've already admitted it exists in spoils of war.
Right. Well, in order to prove biblical slavery exists, you would, since the Hebrews used the word slavery to denote both voluntary and involuntary servants.
True or false? The Bible says that you can take people as spoils of war. True
if they want to be, if they want to be,
what?
Your property, sure.
Yeah, that does not say that.
Nowhere in there does it say that.
Yes.
Can you prove to me?
I would go as far as saying that no human being on the planet has ever said that.
I can prove that the Bible does not.
Forescan.
Yeah.
What he's doing is he's conflating. I mean, this is a textbook example of conflate. If you ever wanted to know what conflate was, this is what he's doing. He's taking that passage about people who do, essentially surrender themselves for indentured servitude, because there's a procedure for that, and where they can even say, "I want to stay with you forever." He is blending that with the phenomenon of capturing people and making slaves out of them because you beat them in a war.
Well, hold on. The option to stay as a slave forever is only for Hebrew slaves, not spoils of war.
The other problem here is that he uses ward of the state, POWs, and criminals. Being a ward of the state doesn't make a person a criminal, and it doesn't necessarily limit their rights. It just puts them in. Normally, what happens is the person's been there's something wrong with the person. They're disabled or they're not mentally capable or whatever, and they don't have any family to take care of them. So the state basically takes care of them. That doesn't diminish their rights in any particular way. POWs are combatants. They're not criminals. And there's POWs on both sides of a given on given conflicts.
And the reason
criminals are
the reason that prisoners of war usually have things like their mobility limited and things like that is because they're in the middle of a war zone, and allowing them to run, just to take off will likely get them killed. And since the soldiers who take them in are required to ensure their safety, usually will keep them someplace safe until they can be safely transported away from there and sent off as refugees. At that point, they're more or less free. A prisoner of war situation is normal, especially under the Geneva Convention, is a temporary situation.
Yeah, and here's the other thing: why would you sell an enemy combatant, a professional soldier from the country that you were at war with, to a family? Why would anybody have a professional soldier serving as their slave in their home?
I bet there would be rednecks who would be up for this.
Yeah, you can have them fight with the other soldier slaves next door and charge 2 bits a gander. I mean,
it's not like you can hire this. It's not like you can buy a professional. I mean, I could see them, especially when soldiers were using like Roman times for fighting, in gladiator, in the arenas and shit like that. But
they're bringing in the slaves, and it's like, so what kind of slave are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for a big bruiser of a fellow. Well, normally we usually just bring in the women, usually the virgins, and then the kids. But we do have a couple of soldiers. Here's a guy, he's a 7-foot-tall giant named Kelkar the Bloody. Do not piss him off. Yeah. But he's yours for a tuppence. I mean, just great.
And he comes fully armed.
Yeah.
He comes from a tribe that practices not only child sacrifice but child eating. Do you have any little ones at home? Because you won't if you take Kelkar home with you. Kelkar is not potty trained either, so don't let him in anywhere near your floors.
Come to find out, this would be later on the same thing that we use today when labeling cats at certain dogs at pounds. Not safe for kids, not safe for cats.
So wait a minute, Jill was so proud of this that he put it on his channel.
Yes. Yep. He did.
Okay. Kind of reminds me of something.
Okay, it's not sanctioned involuntary servitude. Of course, there are people who disobey God and take people, human beings, human trafficking, or traffic human beings. But that is something that the Bible.
Is that Jungle Jargon's brother?
Who's that? Jesus is Lord?
Yeah.
They might as they kind of feel it feels like they should be.
Feels like they're smoking the same shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, eating the same paint chip, something. Yeah. They're on the same brand of something.
Does not.
If the Bible did say that, would you still be a Christian?
Jungle Jargon schizophrenic, they might as well be the same person.
Leave Christianity if the Bible said that you can take people against their will.
If the Bible was like Islam, yes, I would not be a Christian.
What would you be then, you think?
I would probably be I couldn't be an atheist. I'd probably be
a deist.
Like more like the new age type of
oh no, don't be like them.
Yeah, the universe is a force, and
pyramid
force is the first
heroic dose.
Mover.
Oh, you'd be like a Jedi.
Yeah, impersonal force. Yeah, I'd be like Luke Skywalker.
But it's interesting to you that you admit. It's interesting to me that you admit that the Bible.
Anyone else thinking of when he said New Age, thinking of seeing him as a mental image, seeing him shove a goop egg up his wife?
Up himself, maybe.
I can't say that I've ever had those thoughts ever. Really about any human being.
Now
you have to be really Dutch to have those.
Yeah, now you've just given Scott nightmares for the rest of his life.
He always does this. He has me wanting to plunge my eyes out with a fork. He has me wanting to I don't know how I'm going to get that image out of my head now. But
I was just
Was
gonna
that
say,
was that a Gwyneth Paltrow reference? Or
yeah, it was.
yes,
Yes, it was.
Oh,
It was.
I was gonna say the only thing I've come close to visualizing that in and around that, it would be like Jill maybe dropping trow and dumping a hot Cleveland steamer on G-Man's chest or something, but not a goop egg. I don't see him.
Nerdy
used to
wrote
really-
it. I'm with you,
By,
Nerdy.
by the way, Christmas is coming up. Someone should send you a candle. Do people know what I'm talking about?
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
Yeah. Leave me in
Go
innocence.
go look at the Goop website. They're for sale.
Yeah, I only know vaguely what you're referring to, but I couldn't go into specifics. But yeah, I know it.
Speed's channel will get pulled because we're not so secretly advertising goop products.
It's kind of a medieval way of looking at a woman's vagina. It's like, this is some fucking really Machiavellian shit that you're pulling on an area of your body. It's really fucked up.
Okay, what the fuck? Goop? What? Is this a Gwyneth Paltrow thing that Colbert keeps
Goop is
talking
the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow is the personality. A jade egg, I think, is the implement of choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we're on
And
the subject,
the candle I was talking about is a scented candle, and it smells of the place where the egg goes.
oh my goodness. So what the fuck is what in the
I'm
fuck
not
is
kidding.
wrong? What went wrong with Gwyneth Paltrow? What the fuck happened?
Nerdy said what I didn't want to say. Whatever Peter is trying to say smells fishy.
Oh God. Okay, we're moving on.
I did not want to say that.
I already know.
Oh wait.
I already know what's wrong with
You
Gwyneth Paltrow. She's from the heartland.
Damn
I
it,
should have
Peter.
done that. I should have done that like 15 minutes ago. But
Yeah, time to shoot it in the head.
yeah.
Or burn it with fire.
You can have.
Oh, wait, we
slaves
already
as
brought up
spoil of
candles.
war, but you would say that every single slave taken as a spoil of war was taken out of their own free will, right? That's what I'm hearing you say.
The case of war, and if you want to, Dr. Josh does this. If you want to now move the goalpost to
Foreskin.
I'm asking.
What?
Now he's like, if you want to move the goalpost, he brought up war. How are you
Right.
moving the goalpost when you're the one that brought it up?
Yep.
It wouldn't even be moving the goalpost if Dr. Josh talked about it. You're the one that initiates this quote unquote challenge, and war, taking prisoners of war, was part of this.
What I wanted to ask is Pine Creek on that kind of name basis with Josh Bowen? Does he know?
Yes, he knows Josh.
Okay.
He's been on. Yeah, I think Dr. Josh has been on Nathan's channel a few times. They've been on open streams there.
Yep. Okay.
cases of war. Then there are different rules that apply. If you read your Geneva Convention,
why does he keep appealing to the Geneva Convention when it comes to the Bible?
Right.
Capturing.
It's the weirdest fucking shit.
Yeah, even the idea of a ward of the state is really out of date. I mean, it's an anachronism, really, because there was no at that time when those practices were allegedly started. There was no state. There wasn't even a kingdom yet. So he's just got a very naive view of the Bible world.
Very naive view of the Geneva Convention, at least.
Yeah, he's comparing. He's comparing a theocratic state with a secular state, and saying like, these things are equivalent. Like they're based on completely different philosophies.
Yeah, and this is the guy that will accuse people of talking about slavery using today's understanding of slavery as a presentism fallacy, while he appeals to examples of World War II and the Geneva Convention to make his case for slavery back in the Middle East.
Yeah,
dumbass.
I don't understand these Christians much, but they seem real butthurt about this slavery argument.
What they do is they're tacking onto this idea that, well, Christians like Matt, or atheists like Matt Dillahunty and other people have basically challenged Christians and apologists who've been on call-in shows and stuff like that. Oh, well, your Bible condones slavery. Bullshit. No, it doesn't. You should read your Bible. And because of that, now everybody, especially Jill is very, and so is Praise, they're very, very much stuck in this headspace that whenever atheists talk about slavery in the Bible, they're necessarily using it to say, see how bad and ugly your God is.
Yeah, they seem real sensitive on the issue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hitchens did this. He kind of opened fire with us when he started doing his like God is not great kind of stuff and his debates. But also, if you want to see people really get the Christian apologists hot, really triggered, it's Muslim apologists. Well, they'll basically look back at like not just slavery, but things like the genocide of the Amalekites or whatever like that, and just say, well, that's Jesus doing that, right?
Yeah,
because they'll take issue with the fact that Christians think that Jesus is something more than a prophet. They think he's God. So they'll just go back and pull up those things and be like, well, that's Jesus saying this, and that's Jesus getting angry there, and that's Jesus like, why did this thing do this here? And then you turn around and say that he's all loving, and then he dies for everybody's sins. What the hell's going on? And I actually, Pine Creek had a snippet of, it was two Christian apologists at like a conference table talking with one Muslim apologist, and he had them both on the ropes. They were both squirming with that. He's just like, nope. Old Testament God is Jesus too, according to you guys. And they kept trying to wiggle out of it. No, different covenants. He's like, he's immutable. He doesn't change, right?
Well, even the New Testament says Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Yep.
Ooh.
And I think actually that might have been one of the many verses this Muslim apologist brought up to them. He was just firing them right off. Like Satan himself, he knew that Bible backward and forward.
Nice.
Hey, when you want to fuck people up, use the truth.
Okay, rolling.
The ones who are surviving the war, you were responsible.
Well, hang on. Let's keep it very, very simple. You said that you would leave Christianity if Christianity taught that people could be slaves against their will.
Only in the cases other than
there's exceptions.
Criminals.
Oh, wait a minute. You said earlier. Hang on. Maybe I misunderstood you. Then I thought you said even in the cases of spoils of war.
No, because in that case I'd have to denounce America. I'd have to denounce every country that's.
Well, who cares about America or any other
country?
About God.
He just contradicted himself badly.
If the Bible said,
and he's moving the goalpost,
take slaves as spoils of war, you're okay with that?
I'm okay with the Geneva Convention doing the same.
What the?
Okay, you're okay.
I'm okay with the.
The only thing you're not okay with is is outside of war contexts, not to take people as slaves against their will.
Right. It has to be a just war, by the way. So you just can't like a Saddam.
That was moving the goalpost right there. Now it has to be a just war.
Okay, can I ask?
Yeah.
Why?
It's what he does.
Okay, with taking people against their will.
Foreskin.
I'm not a pacifist.
You just want to see if that worked.
Yeah, I wanted to see if that worked. Jeff, did you want to say something? I thought I heard you.
No, other than the fact that this, I think it's really weird. Like it's interesting watching him do this to somebody else. But if he's like, Doug is asking him a very straightforward question, like, you would do this. This is the stance you would take if the Bible said X. And then he's like, yeah, and this thing too, this other, like the Geneva Convention. Like, why are you even bringing that up? Like, get that out of your head. We're talking about the thing you give a shit about. Not the thing that you want to straw man your opponent with in this discussion. Like, Jill can't turn that off. He has to constantly fuck a conversation.
Well, you guys also, to add to what Jeff's saying, the other thing that you have to remember, and this is for the audience, some guys probably here already know this, but when I've had conversations with Jill and with Praise in the past, they hold to the idea that the ancient Israelite society was basically the ancient Near East equivalent of the United States of America. The people that they were fighting were terrorists like Al Qaeda, and that's literally that's where their headspace is at. You cannot get them to change that. They think of that society as a society today.
Yeah.
To be fair, Jay, we're talking about the people who are now preparing for the next war on Christmas. Just so. And by the way, Speed, I do apologize for what I did.
Thank you.
Because I mentioned something, and now I'm reading the side chat. It's horrific. Dan said, breathes deeply through nose. Good morning, ladies. And then secular pagan mom is talking about Benoit balls. I won't do that again. And then in here we've got people yelling foreskin. It's all coming together, but not in the way you would want.
Danny wrote that it's funny how Jay is a Jill expert. I don't think that's funny at all, Danny. I don't think it's funny at all.
No. Remembering the conversations. Wait a minute. Remembering conversations that I've had with those two yutzes does not make me an expert. That just means I remember those conversations that I've had with them and heard those guys literally admit that, yes, they believe that ancient Israel society was basically like the United States today.
Yeah.
Free rights for everyone.
Yeah.
Liberty and justice and freedom for all.
Enlightenment values and secular rights and Yep.
And free speech until you're crucified.
Danny has been given limited permission to be in chat, but I might boot him anyway, but at the drop of a hat.
Why did Mom just delete his message?
Oh, did she?
Oh my God! Don't get secular. Don't get mom started on Danny.
Yeah,
mom has an itchy trigger finger, and I like that actually.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Mom is not so fond of Danny.
I just like all caps. There's no such thing as a just war. Lots of angry faces, and then she banhammers somebody with it. People will fight over the stupidest Danny smash.
Yeah, fuck the wiener. You're right. Jill for dummies. Oh, there you go.
Mom.
I
was only teasing, Mom, out of love and respect.
Yeah. Okay.
You're safe in here.
Who watched Inglorious Bastards? Who was the guy with the bat that would just like
the Bear Uden?
Yeah, for 10 minutes before coming to a prison or whatever would be banging on the wall of some pipe or whatever.
I mean, the actor, that's Eli Roth.
Roth.
Yeah. That's how I imagine Mom. That's the service she does on this channel.
Yeah, what'd she say about being a little angry dog with a kill count?
Yeah.
Because got the bear Jew and then like the foaming at the mouth Chihuahua Jew.
Yeah.
She's our Chihuahua atheist.
Cross between a Chihuahua and a pit bull.
Oh, that's just a fucked up combination. Don't ever bring that up again.
Oh, that would be great. I'd love to have one of those.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy.
That'd be fucking crazy. Yeah. Like if its head was the size of the pit bull's head and had the teeth and everything, but its body was still tiny like that. That'd be just fucking great.
No, the first thing that came to mind was the creature from The Thing.
No, I was thinking, aren't those the proportions of the little dog, the Jack Russell or Jack Parsons Terrier in The Mask? Isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its head gets super big.
But the only thing that you should add is it should keep his high pitched bark, just for fun.
Mars Attack.
If you get a burglar that will think, I'll kick that dog's head in until the dog comes around the corner.
Wasn't it Mars Attacks where they made the hybrid of I forget it was it. Oh, what the fuck was his name? The hybrid with the Chihuahua body. You remember that Mars Attacks with Jack Nicholson?
Yeah,
that was great. Okay, rolling.
I think war is necessary.
No. I didn't ask you why you're okay with war. I'm asking you why are you okay with taking someone against their will as a spoils of war, but not in other areas?
Because military in the military in combat, you are responsible as a soldier, as the invading army.
You're not taking a person as property.
When we invaded countries,
How the fuck does he brush his teeth in the morning?
Citizens, because we have pillaged, or we have not pillaged, but we have
right. But we're talking against their will. So let's say
destroyed their water.
I understand.
supply. So we're responsible to take them in and feed them and give them 3 meals a day. That's what you need.
Even if they don't want to, even if they don't want it.
Well, if they run away off into the wilderness, then good luck. But
well, wait a minute. No, he's saying that they just fed the slaves. They didn't actually make them do any work. Or
he's conflating refugees
prisoner war camps.
Slaves.
Prisoner of war camps. Yeah.
Well, what he's thinking is the internment camps from World War II where they had the Japanese at. That's what he's thinking. I think that's what's going through his mind, is an internment camp. But that's not necessarily the case. Just because there's a certain duty that a conquering country might have towards when they're there and once they've won, what they do after that, that doesn't mean that they get to buy people as fucking slaves, or that these people can say, hey, you can own me as a slave. Where the fuck did he get that from?
Besides, and last I checked, a slave isn't just there to feed him 3 times a day.
Yeah.
He's going to be lucky if he gets 1 meal.
Well, you can't sell people from like they didn't sell the Japanese out of the internment camps, did they?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Anyway, but
yeah, that's why I don't.
Yeah, that was my point. That was my point, that they're so on the defense about this that they're coming up with all these twisted, wrapped around arguments to justify that part of the Old Testament. It's like, why don't they just take it out? Just fucking remove it. It's been done before, right? But it's the word of God.
You are responsible for those individuals, and God says the same.
Right, but I'm asking you,
be pillaged by barbarians who are roaming the countryside.
I'm asking you, I asked you earlier, are you okay with taking slaves against their will as spoils of war? You said yes. Am I wrong? You said yes. You're okay with that?
Yes, because the goal is not to pillage.
I don't care about your reason right now. But now my question is,
I care about the reason. Context matters. Context is king.
Hang on.
So it's
my question is,
he hasn't given his context.
You're okay with taking a person against their will as spoils of war? Imagine a war situation, and there's a woman there, and you're about to take her as a soldier, as a spoil of war, as a slave, and she
what
says,
do you mean by spoil of war? Spoilers of war.
Hang on, no, stop.
Well,
please, let's not muddy it. I'll use any terms. I'll use any language you want.
Well, I don't. You can use any language you want, but define your terms. What is the spoil of war?
Forget I even said it. I'll never say it again. So there's a woman there.
See, now, yeah, foreskin.
It's just been a war.
Foreskin.
And
so Jeff and I were talking about this earlier. What was it that you said about this, Jeff? That basically the word, because he's the one that he's brought up this. Jill's the one that brought this topic up to Pine Creek, and spoils of war has been part of the conversation.
It's not,
and it's been part of the conversation.
It shouldn't be that controversial, and now all of a sudden it's a hot button term, and he wants to beat Doug over the head with it. Like he wants to twist it on the hey, let's argue about the semantics of what that means. Like, okay, and that's why Doug is getting away from it, because now he wants to turn it around. It's not about taking hostages, and it's clearly not about taking POWs. So
who first used the word spoils of war?
I think Doug did.
Jill
in this conversation.
I thought it was Jill. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was Jill.
Back. But
yeah, it was Jill. Yeah,
he didn't like it no more. Okay, so moving the goalposts. Anybody?
He's the one that brought up the whole POW. The POWs. The exception to it is POWs, and then criminals, wards of the state. And then, but like people taking the spoils of war, yeah, that's only if they want. Only the people taking the spoils of war, those could only be slaves if they wanted to be a slave. But then he's changed. He hasn't clearly cemented that. Like, oh well, a person taking the spoils of war during combat. It's fuck this. Yeah, this is nuts.
That's it.
And you have to keep in mind. Jill's goalposts are all mounted on Lamborghinis and Ferraris. It's hard to keep up with them.
And he mentioned that context is everything, and that's why he keeps bringing up the Geneva Convention as context for the Old Testament, right?
And that's why he's changing the context all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Geneva Conventions really goes way back, right?
Context is key, which is why I'm going to keep changing mine.
Okay.
Well, because he keeps using biblical slavery, but he's not. So if you really want to dive into, like, if he wants to dive into what does spoils of war mean, I would ask him, what do you mean when you say biblical slavery? And if he says biblical slavery is what I define as this kind of slavery that happened in the Bible, where it's necessarily voluntary and not as we understand it today, okay, then that's the biblical slavery part. Then you can't say biblical slavery doesn't exist. Because you're saying there is a type of slavery that existed in the Bible, but it's not the same understanding of slavery that we have today. So it does exist.
But that is actually his argument. He will argue that biblical slavery is different from the transatlantic slave trade.
Exactly.
That's
but then
different kind of slavery.
Yeah, but then he tries to argue it out by saying, therefore, biblical slavery doesn't exist. That's what he did with Pine Creek at the beginning of this video. Since you can't give me an example of involuntary ownership of ownership of people against their will, therefore biblical slavery doesn't exist. Then what is biblical slavery if you're saying that there is this type of slavery that was necessarily voluntary?
I can help you with that, Jay. It's whatever Jay would like it to be at that point in the conversation.
Yes.
Chiowini, you got a Chiowini? Oh no. Okay, I'm distracted. Shall I roll?
He's a
yeah.
I think I'm going to start calling Danny my Chiowini.
Oh, actually,
the soldier.
Do we need to point out, Speed, that you get distracted by weenies in the chat, and I get distracted with Benoit balls? We're different people.
All right, that's enough. That's quite enough of that.
Okay,
it's true, though.
Don't make me regret it, Peter.
Don't tell me that you don't already regret it.
I won't discuss my emotional roller coaster while I sent you an invite.
The best. Now this only goes on. This only goes on for a few more minutes, and then Pine actually switches the subject to something a little bit more personal with Jill. So it's pretty interesting too.
Let's roll then.
This woman as a slave, and she says, "No, leave me alone. Let me go. Let me go. I want to run away and die."
Yeah, then she can leave. But
would you hang on?
Foreskin.
Clarify this.
Foreskin.
Too many foreskins.
That's not what she says. Just highlight the last message she said in the side chat.
That's not what your mom said.
No, that is not what my mom said, but the other mom said it.
Oh, that one.
That one.
What one?
The same. And by the way, you started this by sending me an email asking me where I was.
I know.
I just want the people to know that if I don't show up, I get emails. Where the fuck are you?
Because you were at the Benoit ball shop.
That's what I thought. Were you at the Benoit store?
The context, whatever the hidden narrative is between you two at this particular point, I'm completely lost.
I don't know.
Other than weenies and Benoit balls, I have no fucking idea.
I don't know what
he was picking up. He was picking up candles and jade eggs. I think we established that.
I don't know. I don't know what
send to speed. To send to speed.
Yeah, you use big words on me like short-term memory. I don't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Oh, I thought he got you in boop.
He's always using that sciencey jargon.
He sent me an email saying that he sends me invites to this show, and I went back and looked, and they weren't there for at least 2 weeks.
Well, Peter, you got to take solace in the fact that I'm dreaming that I send you invites.
I'll just
actually send you advice, but I
I'll just start. I'll just start forwarding them to you, Peter.
I don't
Whatever
know.
ones he's.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be good.
guys, I don't know what a Benoit ball is, but I don't think I want to know. I was going to Google it. Should I Google it?
If you're gonna look it up,
Google it and put it up on screen, and then describe what it does.
I don't think I want to Google. I don't know. Let me think about it. We'll roll this for a while.
Yeah,
that is absolutely something that I would need in my life. You Googling Benoit balls.
Am I not
then have your son use your computer and checking your search history and thinking, what the fuck?
Aren't they also referred to as Benoit beads?
No, those are the small ones.
I
the balls are bigger.
I may know what you're talking about. Oh my! I'm not Googling that yet. I think I know where this is going.
Howard.
Okay.
Someone recently posted somewhere a picture, and that's something that I will never be able to unsee.
Right.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how the Catholic rosary looks a lot like anal beads?
Just how about this? Imagine somebody turning their head sideways and having a jawbreaker being held in their mouth. There you go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's get back to our video here.
This is a jawbreaker that has a tiny little jawbreaker inside that moves around.
Peter.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
But the soldier, after hearing the woman's cries of let me go, he says, no, I'm taking you as a slave. Is that good or bad in your opinion?
He would be violating scripture at that point. The goal of capturing was not
really.
To pillage.
You're contradicting yourself, sir.
No, I'm not.
You said that it's okay to take someone against their will.
I just want to let you know, Jill is just fantasizing right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's just nothing in the Bible that indicates that in any direction.
But it's weird because he basically wanted a definition for a kind of slavery or involuntary slavery that was other than the taking of POWs, and he's in a situation now. Okay, there's been a battle. This woman is out there, a survivor, and a soldier is like, "I'm going to take you in," and she's like, "No, let me die. Let me run off I'll take my own chances." He's like, "No, I'm taking you in. Would you have a problem with that?" And Jill's like, "No, that's violating scripture." It's like, okay, you just contradicted yourself, because that is the kind of involuntary servitude or involuntary example that you excused slavery from. That was the one that he took off the table from Doug at the very beginning. And now Doug's giving him a hypothetical and saying, okay, what would this guy, how about that? The guy says, no, you're not going off on your own. I'm taking you in as a prisoner. Like, nope, that's wrong. And it also contradicts his previous example, which was you have a responsibility to take them in to keep them safe.
Yep.
So the part in the Bible where it says, and take the little ones for yourself, the next line is, and if they say, "Oh no, sir, let me go," you give them a sandwich and you send them on their way.
Yeah,
right?
unless they say no, hand them a Coca-Cola and slap them on the head, and let them go.
Yeah. Other than that, take the little ones for thyself.
Yeah.
Well, in times of war, and now you're saying it's not okay.
There are enemy combatants. Yes, that's their punishment.
Why do you believe Christianity is true? Let's get off this topic. Why do you believe Christianity is true? What's your main reason?
Foreskin, because that's one of the last things that he did right there. Why does he think which side does he believe needs to be punished in a war? Does he think that because a soldier is serving as a soldier in another country and following the orders of their commanding officers, and those commanding officers are following the leadership or the royalty or whatever that's established in that other nation, why does he think that those soldiers need to be punished with slavery?
Because if they lose, that's God's will.
Yeah. And he did say that there are just wars, that just wars are a thing.
And whoever loses in a just war is automatically. Well, the thing is, though, it's kind of weird. If he believes in the notion of a just war, he believes that because he's like, it has to be a just war. That means there can be unjust wars. Well, how does one define that? If he really believes in his God, even if somebody were to, an unjust war doesn't happen. Even
it also depends on who you ask. I'm pretty sure that if you would have asked Saddam Hussein, that he would say that he would be the victim of an unjust war.
Sure, but
It depends on where you stand. If you're victorious or not, that's where it becomes important.
If the people of Israel get conquered by Babylon, the prophets have to consistently remind them that, because they're going to grouse and, oh God, why have you allowed this injustice upon us? The prophets are there to remind them, no, you did this to yourselves. This captivity is actually a punishment from God. You deserved this.
God lets it happen, doesn't he?
It's a constant reminder that no, you're not being treated unfairly. You're actually getting what you deserve. That's a huge overarching theme, especially in stuff from the prophets. So
yeah, when he said just war, something occurred to me. Do you think if the evangelicals were in control completely of the government, that we would be doing this YouTube channel right now?
No.
Or do you think we'd be in jail?
Yeah, I think we would. I think we would be in consultation services.
And these are our neighbors. These are people we live with. That is interesting to me. Scary, interesting. Anyway, roll them.
Yep.
Well, hold on. Let me finish my thought.
No, sorry, you're contradicting yourself. I can't believe anything you're saying.
No, I'm not. You're not dealing with context. Context is king.
Geneva Convention.
You're just going to talk for 60 to 120 seconds, and nobody's going to care.
All right. Well, can I get a sentence out?
No, this is my show, not yours.
Oh, sure.
So you have two choices. You can leave, or
that was my favorite part.
Question, which is what's the main reason why you're a Christian?
So in conclusion, biblical slavery doesn't exist. I'm a Christian because the Bible is 100% correct 100% of the time.
When Jill does that on my channel, I boot him.
When he says in conclusion?
When he said, no, I don't want to talk about this. He says, no, it's my show. And he goes, let me finish. And he goes, no, it's my show. Nobody cares. And then he turns around and he does it anyway. That's when he did that. He did that last time I had him on my channel. Every time I kick him.
Yeah, that's good.
Every time.
He does that. He needs to have the last. He needs to have the last word. That's his thing.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, rolling.
And it's historical.
I think this is the part I think Jeff will find the most interesting.
The Bible's 100% correct. How did you come to the decision that the Bible's 100% correct?
Not 100%.
No. How did you figure out that the Bible's 100% correct?
Through research, through study, through evidential test, historical test.
In what year did you become a Christian? How long did this take you to go through this?
Who's sleeping?
Who's enjoying themselves?
But
so you were already a Christian before you started your research?
It's your cat speak.
Already a Christian. Well,
yeah, it's my cat. What's he doing?
Knowledge of my faith is a different story.
That's what I would have said.
So who sent that free hugs from Satan meme before in the beginning?
Vesta.
With me.
Okay. My sons also sent it to me. I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck? That was pretty good. Anyway.
Salvation.
I don't give free hugs.
How old were you when you believe you were saved?
When I believed I was saved?
Yeah. When you had said, I'm a Christian.
I don't have a date.
What age roughly?
I don't have a specific date, like a born again date. I think
I'm not asking for a specific date. What age roughly were you when you?
I couldn't tell you.
Over 10 or under 10?
I really couldn't tell you.
Foreskin.
Over 20 or
wow. He's evading.
So if he can't say when he got saved, is he then saved?
Yeah.
No, but he can't even really remember what age.
I mean, he can't even remember the decade or the
everything.
You would think it would be something important in his life getting saved, right? I mean, that you would think that being born again would be something that you would know happened, and when it happened and how it happened.
There's a way around this, but it depends on how honest he's willing to be. He's stated before he was raised in a Pentecostal home. Like his mom was a Pentecostal Christian. So he's probably always just been raised around Christians. And so I don't think he's ever been, quote unquote, like he's never had a salvation experience because he's just always been in a church. What I find odd about this, though, is that he does not like Pentecostals now. He's rejected Pentecostals. And now whatever particular brands of...
I know the answer to that. I know the answer to that.
I want to know if he thinks baptism is important and if he remembers when he was baptized.
Jeff, I know why he has an aversion against Pentecostals. He grew up in a Pentecostal household, and he grew up to be a snake. That's why he hates them.
He just doesn't want to be handled that way.
So I think he's trying to slip out of the fact that he was indoctrinated at very, very early, and that, like a lot of these guys, they actually feel like they got saved at 5 or 6 that I've listened to. I mean, it's real early. It's pretty bizarre.
And I had to check this too, because like he's always talked as if he's just always been a Christian. So if you try to ask him about like if he's got a subjective experience, if he has a quote unquote testimony, depending on what denomination you're in, he doesn't ever seem to have that. He's just like, no, there's a God and you're wrong and you're stupid. That's his religion, right? That's all he cares about. He was not baptized as an infant if he was raised in a Pentecostal family. So if he left that kind of denomination and got involved, and he rejects, he's stated this many times, he rejects certain Pentecostal doctrines. Did he get baptized in a, because he's I guess he's kind of like, I might be a Baptist kind of thing, which is probably true.
He's holding more to Calvinism.
So he's a born again fetus and he doesn't remember the experience because
but he should have been, he probably should have been baptized unless he's part of a denomination that doesn't give a damn about baptism.
Yeah.
But he should be able to say, like, did he ever have a moment where he really felt like he was, where it occurred to him that he was a Christian or anything like that? He can't give that answer. I don't think it ever has occurred to him.
There are so many things that never have occurred to Jill.
Yeah.
You'd have to make a list.
I don't think it's like the only thing, like what triggers him is defending the faith, because he doesn't like any of the stuff connected with atheism at writ large or secularism or any of this other kind of stuff. But he's such a kind of like ossified hillbilly that the only thing that he really cares about is just trying to get over on people that I think he believes think they're better than him. Right? He thinks he's punching up. He's the Rebel Alliance. He's coming after the ivory tower types and the people that would preach down, talk down to him.
You could be right there.
He's a rebel. He's a rebel, but he's a rebel with Jesus behind him, kind of thing. He doesn't care about salvation. He just cares about being right. And he thinks that God gives him the ability to say dickish things to people and trigger them. And he's going to get a place in heaven for it. And then he gets to sit around and giggle while he watches people that he thinks were mean to him his entire life burn, because he has a 54 IQ and is a horrible piece of shit.
No. He said that 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever the fuck it was, on Brojo's channel. You don't burn. There's no hell. So people don't burn.
Is it Fight Club forever?
You die.
It was a different word. I forgot the word he used. It's distress.
Oh, okay. You mean like late stage capitalism? I mean,
I have no clue. I think it's akin to being Jill in an America run by Biden, something like that.
Oh, for him, yeah, okay. So he's in hell then, by his standard. Hell is just subjective.
I have no clue. He said there was no hell, and also you don't have a body, so there's nothing that can burn. It's yeah.
So wait a minute, Christians
is he an annihilationist?
Yeah, Christians get bodily resurrection, but we get soul torture? That doesn't make any sense. Oh,
Have Jefferson, I need to talk to you. Have you ever been in a conversation with Jill where he made sense?
It's been a long time since I've been in one directly with him, but no, I haven't. He's always contradicting himself.
He always does. Within minutes. And Speed, are you going to link Brojo's show? Because it's 6 hours long, but it's so much fun to watch. Simus and Heretic going after Jill. It's glorious.
Wait, which one?
It was on Brojo's channel a couple days ago.
Oh, okay. That's good. That would be good.
Was it his Halloween? Was it his Halloween one?
No. It was. I think it was the day after.
Oh, okay. So Monday.
You just yesterday. All right.
No, it was. I
Make up
know.
your mind.
Hold on. It was Saturday, I think. No, the Halloween one. That's why I got confused. The Halloween one was on Friday. That was the.
But this is the one called Helloweed.
Helloweed.
Yeah.
It was Helloweed.
Did you put that in a private chat, Peter?
I linked it in my chat. You want me to link it again? I can link it again because I have it still open. I'm watching it for a second time because it's just too much fun to watch.
Apparently, I missed it. There
you go.
Okay.
No, you didn't miss it. You ended the stream, remember? And then we had to move here, and the link was there. Remember?
I don't remember.
Short-term memory.
Peter. I don't remember anything. I don't remember what that is, Peter. I don't know what.
Speed, Raw Naked Energy requests that you change the thumbnail because she doesn't feel good about having it up there.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but well, that's too bad. I thought it was cool. What's happening?
It was insanely cool. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay. You want me to roll it? I'm going to roll it and go change the thumbnail. Okay.
Sure.
Roll it. I'll call it.
Whoops.
What was the thumbnail?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. What was the thumbnail?
The thumbnail is a message from her. Yeah.
Okay. Now listen for a minute while I change the thumbnail. Okay.
Probably when I realized that I was one of God's elect, I would say after or older than 20.
Okay, so if I met you when you were 10 years old and I asked you, are you a Christian? You would have said?
I don't even know if I would have said, I don't know what I would have said at 10 years.
If I met you at 15 years old and I asked you, are you a Christian? You would have said?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but knowing your faith and knowing you're one of his does not mean that you have all of the ability to defend what you.
So when you were 15, if I would have met you when you were 15, I asked, are you a Christian? You would have said yes. And then I would have asked you, why are you a Christian? What would you have said at age 15?
I would have said because I grew up in the church. That's what I would have said back then.
Which is actually what you said even today, right? Or no?
No.
No.
That's not what I'm saying today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you what kind of Christian are you? Are you a Calvinist or a non-Calvinist? Because you used the word elect. That was a key word for me.
I do lean towards the Reformed position.
Okay.
I think the Reformed position actually corresponds more to the text.
So what would the text have to say in order for you to say that this is not 100% perfect God's word?
You'd have to prove some historical inaccuracy.
Historical inaccuracy. Like, can you give an example?
Well, the Bible predicts historical
like the flood
events in its predictive prophecy.
No, but we want to disconfirm it, not confirm it, right?
Right. So you'd have to prove one of those predictions about history to be false.
Wait.
Maybe
like if the Bible said that a certain place was in a.
If this is all if all of that, all the details of the Bible are all necessarily, you have to look at these things and say, these are 100% accurate. Why has he dismissed conversations with some people about certain things in the Old Testament law by calling them non-essential? Oh, that's a non-essential, sir. Like when he talks about, he used to be a local flood versus global flood.
Okay.
And when he get into those arguments and he starts to get cornered, he would say, this is non-essential. Well, it doesn't seem like that's non-essential. If the Bible is 100% accurate, the importance of the Bible being 100% accurate seems to be very key in him believing in this religion, but yet he's dismissed multiple topics before by saying they're non-essential.
Being Dutch, do I have to point out the bloody obvious again here? That all of you missed. He just shifted the burden of proof. You have to disprove the Bible.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Well, not only that, but
Stumped everyone. I stumped everyone. Everyone's silent.
No, I mean, I think that's. I think it's interesting that culturally, that's the thing. He has kind of the high ground that way in the United States, because a lot of people are like, oh well, there's the Bible and it has these stories and it makes these claims. You know. All right. Okay. No, so from Jill's point of view, it's like prove it. It's not prove some of it wrong. It's prove it all wrong. He tells people, you have to show me that there's one contradiction in there, but that's not it. The whole thing has to be fake, because he ends up doing these cumulative arguments.
Isn't that the whole thing behind young Earth creationism, that they have to insist that everything in the Bible is accurate, perfect?
Well,
like
literal.
All historical references, literal,
Yep, because it's the special revelation of God delivered unto man.
But if you can derive 100% accuracy, 100% of the accuracy from the Bible, why is it you have so many different denominations? And I mean, even if Christians that aren't necessarily part of a denomination, like YouTube Christians who seem to kind of like be a church all to themselves or whatever, like Praise and possibly Smokey, I don't know. But these people all have different views on things in Scripture.
Yeah, if you got like an old Earth creationist versus young Earth creationist, but when they get into one of their in-house debates, it's like, oh, well, that's a non-essential thing. Yeah, until you get the real fundies, the real yek fundies that are like, no, if you're an old Earth creationist, you've accepted evolution, you've ceded too much to the godless heathens.
Yeah.
So it's no longer. It's not. It is a salvation issue. It is a debate of salvific nature amongst them. But yeah, they have an interesting way of kind of picking and choosing when these issues.
Yeah, if we get to the end of this, there is I think that Pine Creek actually polishes off he ends the conversation with Jill with a very nice one-liner.
Okay, roll.
Yeah,
Rolling.
Yeah, let it go.
Direction. And it was wrong. Would that be enough for you to say I'm out of everything?
Yes, the archaeological state, however, has only confirmed biblical.
Wait, are you sure you're going to leave Christianity if in the Bible it says that a certain town was in a certain direction and it was wrong?
Yeah.
You wouldn't automatically say that it was mistranslated?
Well, you would need to prove that all of the extant manuscripts had it wrong. So all of the manuscripts do. Some of them do have
actually foreskin. Jill is doing exactly what he told me one of the first times I had a conversation with him. You have to believe it until you can prove it wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All these manuscripts.
He doesn't admit that he does that, right? Because you pointed that out to him once before. Because he basically was like, "I'll believe it until I have to believe it until it's proven wrong."
Well, he implied it, and so I asked him for clarification. I said, "So are you telling me that anytime somebody says something is the case, right, we should believe that until it's proven false?" And he said, "Yeah, exactly." And I said, "Goodbye, click." I said, "That's fucking stupid." Because if I basically on that logic, if I call you a rapist, we all believe that it is the case that Jill's a rapist until he can prove to everyone he's not a rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Copied by or non-professional scholars.
Okay. So all the manuscripts would have to say the same thing, and that this direction of this town would be wrong.
Right. Yeah. It would have to actually be evidence that the biblical authors got it wrong. So although we don't have the originals, we can compare copy to copy to get back to the mother copy.
Okay.
The mother copy.
And things
where
like
this is going, right?
The Bible saying that Tyre would be completely destroyed.
There it is.
The city of Tyre.
Yes. Tyre is no more. Ezekiel was 100% correct.
Yeah. But if there was
unless you ask
today,
Ezekiel 3 chapters
later
later
that the Bible's all wrong, you'd leave Christianity?
Well, the city built the top of Tyre. They kept the surname, but the actual archaeologists have actually found.
They kept the
Ezekiel.
surname.
Did you see the
Yeah,
problem
force get on that.
You see-
He keeps trotting this out. Ezekiel himself is several I don't think I said 3. That might have been exaggerating. It's several chapters later. I think maybe it is just 3. Actually concedes that the Tyre prophecy is incomplete. So Jill's just talking out of like, this is one of those things like, I know my Bible. You don't even know that, the one person that has a problem with the Tyre prophecy is the guy that prophesied it, because he turned around and said, "Yeah, my bad."
And this came up in the chat with Simus, and Simus pointed out that according to the Bible, no stone would be left. And then he said to Jill, "And you're aware that they're currently, at this moment, digging up those stones, the foundations of that city, still there, but the Bible says no stone will be left."
Yeah,
and that's when he ran.
No, I don't. I see the problem that you don't want to hear the answer to your question.
No. I've heard this answer 1,000 times in my life. I'm not on anymore.
So the Tyre doesn't exist. The city that they built the top Old Tyre, archaeologists call it Old Tyre.
Right, but let's say
it's not the same.
Yeah. I understand. I'd like to try to keep this very fast because.
Is there evidence that this city was destroyed and then rebuilt? Is that?
Yes.
It wasn't destroyed.
It wasn't entirely. I mean, bits and pieces of it were blown up and then built on top of. Yeah, but to match the description given in the original prophecy, no, it was not. It was not wiped out for all time, cast into the sea, never to be recovered.
Dr. Josh covers this really well, quite a few times. But does his book cover the Tyre thing, or is that going to be for volume 2?
I don't know if that's in. Yeah, that might be in volume 2. I don't know if it's in volume 1. I haven't
covered it on various streams and stuff. He's it's really clear that that's not a fulfilled prophecy.
Sure.
Nope.
Sure.
Otherwise, it just gets boring, and we all heard this before. But you notice when I asked you, the Bible says Tyre will be completely destroyed, yet there's a Tyre today. And then Christians will answer like you did, well, that's a different Tyre.
Yeah, it's a city built.
Yeah. You don't have to explain it. It's a different Tyre.
The ancient city of Tyre, it does not exist.
So when
Tyre did not have McDonald's or KFC.
So when I asked you,
so Tokyo is not Tokyo anymore.
Bible, and I talked about a
neither
town
is Jerusalem.
Direction.
Yeah,
and that town's not in that direction. Why couldn't you just say, well, it has the same surname as that town, but it's just a different town?
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question. This will debunk your whole theory. If the new built city that they built atop, they didn't.
I'm not talking about Tyre anymore. We're off Tyre.
You want to move to another topic before we deal with this.
I'm getting to your epistemology. I'm getting to.
This is typical of the atheists.
I
never actually get to.
I've muted you, Jesus is Lord, for a reason, because I don't want to talk about the prophecy of Tyre. I'm talking about your epistemology on how you would disconfirm the Bible and using Tyre as an example. If you can say, well, this is not the real Tyre because it's just used the same name. And I asked you, what would cause you to leave Christianity if the Bible said the town is north and it's actually south? And let's say we found a verse like that. Why couldn't you give the same excuse you gave to Tyre and say, well, this is just a different town with the same surname? Okay, now on
archaeologists that will say Tyre still exists, and I'll donate $100 to you.
He was still talking.
He was still talking.
Yeah.
I had you muted.
Can you cite an archaeologist for me?
I had you muted the whole time. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, can you cite an archaeologist for me that says Tyre still exists?
Can I cite?
No. Can you cite an archaeologist?
No. I'm going to give you whatever you want because it's not going to make a difference.
$100 to your PayPal.
How about the mayor of Tyre?
I don't want your $100.
So,
did you hear anything? Did you hear anything I said?
Sure. You're.
Wait a minute. Okay, so the city was destroyed and another city was built on top, and it has the same name. Isn't that just rebuilding the city?
According to
that is rebuilding the city, and the Bible does state that the city of Tyre will never rise again which it obviously has done, even if it's a different city with the same name, it's still risen again.
This is the problem. Jill couldn't. Jill would not be able to work his way through the ship of Theseus kind of that mental project. I think he'd probably try to solve that and say, no, it just works this way, right? Like I asked him this very straightforward. I'm like, so the city of Atlanta, Georgia today is not the same city of Atlanta back in the Civil War. And I don't think I ever got a straight answer because it was largely burnt to the ground. The new city of Atlanta was built on top of it. There's still an underground Atlanta. He doesn't seem to think that applies to Tyre.
So how do you spell the city's name? Tyre?
Tyre. Yep.
Okay. Tyre, Lebanon?
Tyre, Lebanon. Yep. It's still there.
It's still there. And he said he wants an archaeologist that'll show you that it's still there.
Yeah, but that's a ridiculous.
Because archaeologists, you don't know this. You don't know this, Pete. Archaeologists are the people who go from town to town to explore the town. Those are archaeologists.
Yeah, like you need I think
that's what they do.
It's called a travel agent, not an archaeologist.
Yeah, it's just a dingy thing to say. It's like, do you have an archaeologist that you can cite that can tell me that St. Petersburg is really there?
Yeah.
Cite your source.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, this guy. Oh, okay. Are we picking on the handicaps here? Okay.
I don't know.
You're rambling on, but you're not proving anything. Well, let me ask you a question, if I can.
Okay.
If the new city, the one that's built atop of the old one that was prophesied would never be rebuilt, and it is in rubble right now. You can go check it out. Ground penetrating radar.
Hurry up, quick. Ask your question. Don't say stuff. Ask a question.
Okay. If they had changed the name of the city to Pine Creek, would Tyre still exist?
Yeah.
So in other words, the Tyre that we see today called Pine Creek, would Tyre still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It would still exist even though they didn't call it Tyre?
Yeah. So if I change my name to Myron, do I still exist? Yeah.
How about somebody pointed it out in the live chat?
Okay,
we're almost there. But somebody pointed it out in the live chat. It's the same in many other places like New Amsterdam. It's New York now. Michigan City is Lansing, Michigan. There's plenty of examples of cities changing their names.
Constantinople and
there's no such thing as Constantinople anymore because once Istanbul was the name change, Constantinople it doesn't exist anymore.
What's that song?
I'm not going to stop.
Anyway, okay.
On Tangelo, no, I don't want a Tangelo yet.
Nope, you don't.
No, who does?
Random Christian.
Who does?
Did he just kick him?
Okay, I
yes.
think so.
Yeah, that was it. That was it with him. He's like, "Oop."
Yeah. Goodbye. Okay.
I think Jay started to say that he was just rambling and not making any sense. And so when you say that to your host, you're going to get kicked.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's anybody out there in my chat or anybody that comes to my channel that maybe understands that point when you come on and you say shit, to the host. He can kick you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depends on the host. Depends on the host. Doesn't happen here a lot.
No, I don't kick people that much.
He just kicks Peter.
So what the fuck is going on in this picture exactly now? Can somebody explain to me? Is this guy like an interloper that's busting these Christians, or
I think so. I like to think so. As that.
Or is he one of the Christians trying to make a fucking point about Satan or something? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, if he hugs the guy and then stabs him in the stomach, then maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe steals his wallet.
What I find interesting is the Christian on the right is looking at his watch, and the other one is interested in what time it is. So they're probably hoping that they can leave already because Satan just appeared.
Well,
comparing
Well,
notes.
if the guy on the right with the white hair, is that white hair or is that like a headband or
Yeah.
So he's like,
White
yeah,
hair.
maybe he's like castigating him and yelling at him, but then he goes in and he actually gives him a hug, and then they exchange whispered in each other's ears, "Hail Hydra," you know.
And another thing, and there's so much going on. Anyone notice the Catholic priest that is just outside of the frame on the
To
left?
the left there, yeah. Somebody dressed like a
somebody
cardinal.
dressed as like a superhero with a purple cape.
Maybe.
It's a combination of
or it could be Von Helton.
It's Dr. Strange dressed as the Pope. he likes to get sacrilegious around the Halloween.
The other night I watched a little of Jesus Camp again.
Ugh.
I hadn't seen it since it came out. And they have these plays that they're doing, these weird little plays. And these fucking Christians scare the shit out of me when they do stuff like that.
Oh, we did those when I was a kid, and some of the churches coming up. Oh yeah, they do that all the time.
It just makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. It really freaks me out.
I saw that once and it really upset me. So I'll stick to the picture. So they used all kinds of comedy fonts that you see in cartoons when it says smash and things like that. And then behind that there's a crime scene that they've cordoned off.
That's probably a Catholic church.
Fascinating picture.
Oh my. Wow. Christians, what the fuck? So
speaking of which, I'm probably going to do a video. I might wait and do this Thursday because it's going to be a long one. I might do it right after work. That Moshe versus Jack Angstrike video that was on Tom Rabbit's channel. It's just under an hour, but it's like a discussion they have kind of on the problem of evil.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing a video reviewing that one. I don't know how many views I'm going to pick up for that one, but it's an interesting argument because they get into the Moshe guy brings up some really, really weird points. He seems to struggle with some concepts. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to review.
So somebody mentioned this the other day, and I went and watched this T-Jump Maddox debate from like a year ago or something, or a little over a year ago. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
This is one of John Maddox's arguments, and T-Jump said, that's not an argument, that's an if statement. It's like, and he put up like a bunch of them, and T-Jump just, the look on T-Jump's face when Maddox was talking, he was like, what the fuck have I gotten into?
Is that why T-Jump charges now?
It was pretty amazing.
Like he charges admission now, like
for his debates.
Well, for some of his discussions, because what's his name? What is it? Godly Apologetics for the Win or whatever it is. Philip Amon's new YouTube handle or whatever. He had a discussion with T-Jump a month or so ago, and he paid like $5 to do it. Like T-Jump made him pay $5 to have a discussion with him. And I think it's just because there's a bunch of loonies that come out of the woodwork. They're like, debate me, bro. And he's just like $5. And he takes the money and gives him at least 20 minutes of
I would charge more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So I guess me and Danny are going to have a one-on-one on natural selection and Jerry Fodor. It kind of sounds like Danny agreed to it the other day, or on Bread of Life he agreed to it.
Has this been building for a while or something? What's?
It's been building.
Keep it civil, guys. Keep it civil.
It's been building. I intend to, because I have questions. I have some questions at the very beginning. He has to clarify this thing for me. Because as he will point out over and over again, I just don't understand the argument. Yeah. Anyway.
By the way, Jill did say he was going to become New Age, right? When he left
if you disprove the Bible.
Reminded me of this that I came across on some Facebook group.
I gotta regret this. Okay. What the fuck? You'll be completely soaked in herbal liquid. Oh, attendees must be. Oh no. What?
What the hell is a lunar second?
I don't know. But
you ask about the lunar second, which comes after that the fact that you must learn to fold and unfold your genitals.
Oh, I didn't see that. Do that?
And you're disturbed by the lunar second.
Well,
Okay,
I want to know for how long I have to keep my genitals folded.
No, ice cubes in a heating pack. That's how you do it. That's how you fold and unfold your genitals, I think. I don't know. It works for me. Let me see. Buckets, rags. What buckets and rags are available for $6?
Yeah, you definitely need the rags in case you you fold and unfold your genitals too much, and you have a little bit of a.
Okay, this is some meme that somebody made up, right? Just to prank their parents or whatever.
It's probably fake as hell, but I found it funny.
Please do not eat onions. Oh my god!
And something about a waiver agreeing to allow the great horned owl to observe you silently for the duration of the wet yoga practice.
Yes,
I think it's a safe bet that this is satire.
This is fake, but yeah. I'm keeping this for whenever I run into Jill again.
Well, now
and I may because of the striking likeness, I may put Simus's face in there because
don't do that to set. Well, I don't know. It makes Simus look like an herbal priest or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and Simus has that hair.
Yeah. Well, he'd need a blowout though, right? Because I don't think he teases his out quite like that person does.
The fact that you just said blow and tease in one sentence makes my Dutch mind spiral again. Don't do that.
It doesn't take much.
No, not a lot.
So I'd like to start doing some Matt Powell bashing.
Did you guys watch the? I didn't watch the original source video, but it's like Kent Hovind and Matt Powell talking together. I've been watching the rationality rules and his buddy kind of going over it because
that's a good video.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, man, they're really dishonest with their editing and stuff. Like they keep pausing it because they're like, well, okay, there's another clip where he took out like 10 seconds of the actual point that I made.
Yeah, and entire arguments like they would list point number 1, but not 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. It's like, like it would be like, hey, let's listen to the argument that this person presents, and you show half of the first premise, cut it, and then spend the rest of that time straw man, 5 minutes straw manning that, and then you move on to something else. Like they talk about the complexity of the eye for over 10 minutes. It's really bad.
There is a interesting video that came up. Dr. Bruce Damer on Terence McKenna. And so he was on this channel once, and he's a abiogenesis researcher with the hot springs hypothesis, which he goes over. But he has a very interesting view on the beginning of life and complexity and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to link this. I thought it was worth watching. It's 23 minutes. So it was pretty cool. So I will put that in my description just for the hell of it. And I'm feeling like shooting.
And by the way, neither.
Hold on.
Whoa. Neither of the people in that picture are Bruce Damer. Just so you don't misunderstand.
Hold on a minute. I got to see what this is.
Okay. In the meantime, Simus is in the chat. Simus, check Discord. Get your ass in here. Then everything went silent.
We're waiting for Simus.
Yeah, we can't do anything until Simus gets here. I'm looking at a link that
I'm a skunk. Come on in here.
Oh my God!
Defend yourself.
What did I walk into? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay,
who was that?
Girls. I don't know either. We got to shoot her in the head.
By the way, this was just shared by Raw Naked Energy. It's a book by Massimo Pellucci, although it's $50, but maybe you can get it cheaper elsewhere.
I have another one by him called, what the fuck is it? Denying Evolution, Creationism, Scientism, and the Nature of Science by Pellucci. So, what was the name of that one?
Making Sense of Evolution.
Making Sense of Evolution.
Looks like a college textbook almost.
And Peter, you made a promise.
I did. So I'm waiting. Arden is going to send me the email address because everything went so fast when he was on. I didn't get a chance to get his email address, but it's going to be taken care of.
Peter, I'm 70 years old. I'm 25,868 days old. I don't have that fucking long. Could you?
But you have a terrible short-term memory, so you won't even know what happened.
I don't know what that is. I can't remember what that is.
And Simus we came full circle.
Simus is here, so we're shooting it in the head. I gotta go.
Yeah, Simus, where were you? We were talking about Jill, and I mentioned that glorious stream where you and Heretic grilled him for 6 hours, and you weren't here.
Namaste, brother. Namaste, brother Peter.
Namaste to you, Simus.
Thank you very much. Wet yoga is the future.
When this is over, can you explain to me how lunar seconds work? I'll be quiet.
Yeah, lunar seconds are, of course, we're talking about an arc second. That's what is meant by a lunar second.
It's less of a period, more of a semicircle.
What planet's moon are you talking about, though?
Loony second.
Well, it'd be the planet Nibiru, obviously.
Nibiru. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Shooting it in the head now.
Again?
It wasn't Heretic, by the way. It was somebody called JJ.
Goodbye, all our moon.
No. It was Baby Jesus. I remember. No, it was Baby Jesus.
Oh yeah, okay, babe. No. That was last night. That was the one we were talking about.
No, because I'm watching it again for the second time because it's so much fun to watch.
I can't remember. Jill said some really dumb things.
JJ was there too, but it was mainly you and Heretic who had Jill over a barrel until he finally. I think you made him run.
I can't remember exactly. It got very convoluted, but I do remember in the other one with JJ where he said. People that do God's work, God uses people as tools to do His work. So I turned around to Jesus. I turned around to Calamity Jill and said, "So you're saying Jill that you're a tool?"
And he said, "Yes." He agreed to that.
You had to agree to it, obviously.
You should provide
the entire video. It's glorious. I was there when it was live, and I chose to not spoil everything and go in there. I just sat there and what? This was too good to interrupt.
I have to say, I think if we find a way to power
world, we're ending.
Answers in atheism.